The power of many is the power of two. We just saw the season finale of the Acolyte.
Yes.
Strap yourselves in. This is a longer video. David?
Yes, we are planning on discussing like a little bit of overall Star Wars. So like we are going to talk Acolyte, but we're going to go over a lot of Star Wars works and a little bit of the state of Star Wars. So this is a bit of a messy thoughts episode of the state of Star Wars, the show and season and finale. So just prepare yourself for that. If this sounds messy, you're being warned. It is. But hey, that's Star Wars right now, so
Thank you for watching.
Even when we fail, we reveal our beauty. He said something like that when he found like fake May Osha, and he was like, "Even in our defeat."
I believe a quick step-by-step before the finale we get there is of emotional being, not necessarily going over the story, that's too much.
Yeah.
If I may, I enjoyed myself.
You may also.
With episode 3 going onward. I enjoyed myself. Everything was fine. I had fun. I didn't hate interaction. I didn't hate acting. I didn't hate moments. I didn't hate design. I didn't hate music. I didn't hate the pacing. There was nothing there that fucking broke me emotionally or took me out of the story or removed it. The only thing about the whole thing, that's my biggest negative, was episode 5 or 6, which was Day. That episode was useless. Like, that episode clearly was not meant to be its own thing, and I guess you cut it to make 8 episodes, but if you just made 7, that would have been fine. But obviously that's fine to have a mandate for 8 episodes, but then write a better episode instead of just the we walk to destination so the next episode can happen. And I say that as someone that very much always fights the argument of filler in TV. I believe the whole point of TV is that it has the time to expand and show what a movie doesn't. And a romance happens in 2 hours and you have to believe it. And that's the contract you're signing with the filmmaker when watching the movie. You have to come in and believe some of it. You got to give some of that away. A show has the time to make you believe that love. This is the best example I can give you, as I think is a pretty good one.
Yeah.
And so I always fight against filler. That episode was filler. There was no character moment that grew or developed anything of a grander scale. You introduced the scaly moths that are gonna yeet a Sith Lord for the next episode, or Sith Lord. And we'll get to that. And that was about it. Like the one episode that truly was like pointless was episode 4, and teasing the fuck out of who the stranger was, and it was obvious since
Master
the first
Soul?
time.
Was it me?
It was me.
Was it me? I'm playing the fool.
So that's what I have to say about episode 3 to 7. I enjoyed myself. I really had fun. Fantastic lightsaber fight. Choreography was fucking great, amazing.
We can just stop for a moment and say that
Done a great
all
job.
the action,
all the action, is
all the lightsaber
great.
fights,
Not a single fight that you felt.
I had no problem except for the first one being a little too dark.
Oh.
And I wanted the music to be more pumped up. Aside from that, I think the choreography and all the action when it comes to lightsabers were really, really good. And I just wish that the story and the rest of it was up to par so that I would care more in those lightsaber fights.
Yeah.
But the fights themselves, if I just cut them out and see them as separate scenes, I will enjoy myself a lot. It's like watching a fan film on YouTube. But it takes a lot of time to get to those fights, and all that time building up to it. Yeah, continue.
No, that was my thoughts. Please start chiming in. Episode 3 to 7.
I think there was a big structural problem of the whole season. I don't think it should have been split up the way it was.
No.
The cliffhangers weren't compelling enough to make you wait a whole week.
No.
And as you mentioned, so a few episodes definitely should have been one bigger episode, not just split in two, where you don't
feel
feel the
it.
satisfaction at the end.
Even with the way they're named, it feels like there's an inconsistency there.
Like the culmination of an episode. And a lot of people are mentioning that the budget of this was more than Revenge of the Sith's budget combined, which makes you go, where did all the money go to?
Huh.
They
Sets.
have few sets that they reuse often, like the Brendok planet or the Wookiee one and the little rooms in Coruscant. So those are the sets you have in the ship. But aside from that, does it warrant having that level of budget? This is, I think, 100 million more than the Obi-Wan series in total, which is pretty crazy. Like, how did that series, the Obi-Wan, not get more? And this one did. Was it production value-wise, does it even show a difference? I don't think so. Like, where are you spending your effort in?
The flashback episode.
The flashback episode,
Okay.
it was not worth waiting so many episodes getting that reveal.
It
Should have been
was,
the same
it was just a little, yeah. It was just a little confusing is the best word I can put, because there was a bizarreness there, because you didn't watch it and went, now I have the full story. You still felt like you walked away missing something, and that's I think the biggest problem of the show is it does things, but it doesn't fully explain them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not a good thing, because mystery is good. Mystery is important. It makes you want to come back, especially to a show that's supposed to be all about mystery and stuff. But you have to give and take. You can't just take, because so far that's your biggest problem. You keep introducing aspects and ideas, but you're not following through where they came from. The ideas are fine. I don't mind the ideas. I hate the fact that I don't understand where they're coming from. The ideas on paper, they're great. It's always execution. So that's why I'm sitting here very like, this, I don't mind this, but why is this? But you never tell me why. And that's my critique for the show. You do things that aren't inherently bad, but you don't explain them to me, so therefore they become bad. Because I have no context for so many things.
Seeing yellow lightsabers, right? Seeing the Sith armor. Those kinds of details from the universe that we are just happy to see put on the screen. That's the crusp.
It's nice. It's just there, and it's perfect.
Yeah, of the cake.
You don't have to explain it. You can just be a nice little. It's
that's
just there.
That's good. We're always gonna be happy about those details and those facts.
It's the
as
motivation.
fans.
It's the story. That's what the problem is.
And people complain saying, "Oh, well, I mean, the Star Wars fans hate Star Wars." Well, it's not really about that. It's about people who are huge fans of something, who grew up and were invested in a world. We're gonna show care. We're gonna show a lot of compassion for this universe, because it's been a huge escape for a lot of people and going into this, because the Jedi, when we were kids, we wanted to be like the Jedi. We wanted to be the protectors of peace and justice in the galaxy, be the good cops who are going on different exciting adventures, having your master and your Padawan learning from each other. It was super exciting. Look at all those games and all those EU things. And thinking about the concept of having a murder investigation set in this era would be pretty exciting. Having Saul and Jackie, for example, going on this investigation and finding out a lot of things, and then leading to Keemer the Stranger, and then Pledges, whoever it is. But that would have been so exciting, and even having the other guy, Jord, being a part of it, because when they were showing distress in episode 5, when they were being scared, oh my god, things are happening, you're seeing them team up, you're seeing them united, you see the bond in that episode because of the action scene and because there is a call to action and danger. We should have led with that. We should have started with it, and we should have had more setup when it comes to the whole witch thing. If episode 3 was episode 1 combined with episode 7, I think it would have helped a lot more people to be invested.
If there's an edit out there where you don't keep up the mystery, you let the audience know already.
Yeah, because there was no point. There was no point on clinging to it, because the real wasn't even a, oh my god, this changes everything. It didn't.
Yeah, that's
really
the problem.
didn't.
That's the truth. It didn't blow your mind. You went, okay.
Instead, it makes you think like there's going to be a bigger reveal. It's going to be no. It was just this. It was basically the most simple thing you could have thought of.
Yeah,
that's what happened. Yeah, because if you're not gonna do the Sith hiding for millennia and the secret of the rule of two, Darth Bane surviving and passing the torch to Tenebrous and Pledges and Palpatine, if you're not gonna do that thing, if you're gonna do your own thing about these twins, make it compelling.
Yeah,
because the twins, I actually confused who was who sometimes because of their motivations going back and forth, and I get that the end they wanted to do, let's switch the good one to being bad and the bad one to being good. I get that, but it was back and forth so much that it was inconsistent, and I had trouble, a lot of trouble caring.
That's the biggest thing.
I wanted to care about it. At the beginning, I was doing it because I was like, oh, I didn't do it. Who is it? My sister. Like, I was feeling there was something there, humanity and context that made me go, okay, there's substance. But at the end of the whole thing, I was like, I can't. it doesn't make me feel anything. There's a lot of crying and a lot of good acting and everything, but I can't feel the emotion for these.
It's a weird thing to say.
I can't do it.
No, you're right. You're right on the money. It's like this season feels like it was a weirdly sloppy setup for what could be a very good second season.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Do you feel that? Like,
yeah.
It really has the potential to be actually a very interesting second season. Like, you've laid out the pieces, but I have no idea if you're going to get one. And I'm not against it. Because the writing was sloppy.
Yeah.
But it feels like this season was like a setup for like a really good story that's right over the horizon.
Right.
You could make it really good. And this could just be the show of it was the alright first season. And then the who knows what second season. Like, the pieces where they are right now are in a position where you could do very interesting things.
I agree.
Really interesting things. Like, it's like weirdly nicely placed. It just feels weird because we didn't get there in a nice way.
No.
So it's like the pieces are in a good place now, but it feels muddy. Why did we have to get there?
Yeah.
This way.
Yeah, there's so many episodes.
This is where you want it to come to. That's fine. Though where the pieces are, it isn't a bad thing. Is again the way you chose to get there. That's the bizarre thing. It's weird.
It is, and I don't like how the Jedi on the Disney era are led on this path of self-destruction, that they're inherently bad, and that the legacy is failure. We're not good. The Jedi. What's the point, right? Like, maybe the dark side was better. Maybe they were right. That's not the idea here. The whole fundamental part is light versus dark, evil versus good, selflessness versus selfishness. That's the whole thing, and we can have a compelling story about being seduced by the dark side. That's not a bad thing. That's not you can have that on the table here, but don't bring down the Jedi when you do this thing. Instead, show why the Jedi are so good. Please do that, because the failure was immense. When Palpatine lured himself into their good graces and stabbed them in the back. And that is the reason why the Jedi failed.
Yeah.
Not because they were already failing beforehand. And I think I'm very annoyed by this.
Yeah, we need to start introducing groundwork again for what the goodness of the Jedi is, because we all as a collective know what that is, but we haven't really seen that in media in a long time. Like, the prequels original series was about a downfall of the Jedi and where they got to with corruption. Yeah. Fine, we did that story. It's good that we did. Hence the Empire happening.
This is the heyday.
And then we're showing that back in the day that obviously it had to start somewhere. Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. The slow downfall had to start somewhere. It wasn't just overnight in the prequels. Like, okay, yes, I agree with that. But then you also go to Luke and how that whole story unfolded. And it's this feeling of more and more of like, everything you're feeding me tells me the Jedi are good in concept but not in execution. And I keep going, no, the point of your universe is to make the Jedi good in execution. That's the point of your storytelling. As a human, in the real world, we can all agree that yes, if an organization of magical babies and monks would kidnap your babies and take them away, yes, it would be bizarre. But that's why this is fantasy. And it's magic. And it's space wizards that are knights fighting against evil wizards in space. And you gotta remember those are the words that are accurate to describe this, whilst you have westerns in the background. And you have to remember that these are the ways to describe this universe, and this is right, and that then you should just get a little self-relief of, that sounds silly, but that sounds fun. And remember that? Silly and fun, and it has the space to do whatever it wants. It's a wonderful playground.
Does this make you want to pick up a lightsaber and a fake blaster and go around like this?
It doesn't.
Then if it's...
I don't want to. I have Blade Runner. I have Dune.
Yeah. I have Dune. If I want to go into that level of complex nuance of green,
I'm not saying Star Wars can't have it. I don't mind a little corner of it being the dark, evil, or realistic, and/or very good.
Yeah.
So you can do it all. That's the beauty of it. I'm just saying I miss. You haven't done the happy one, fun one in a while.
The heroic.
You haven't that one. You haven't done it in a while, and I miss it. And I am very excited to get a story about a Jedi soon that embodies that goodness again. and that telling again. And there was characters like that here. Yes, there were. Soul. I really, really, really do like Soul.
I did too. I liked him a lot, and then eventually we got to that point where everything is going to be blamed on him. Everything is his fault. Well,
for carrying
your witch mother turned into some kind of
spooky ghost person. that wasn't explained. This is what we're talking about when we said it wasn't explained.
And your daughter was turning into like some suit as well.
And that's the problem. And that's the problem. I was
gonna let her be with you.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
Say this to me, please.
It's the equivalent of like I'm standing here next to Pauli, and I say, Pauli, I'm gonna give you something cool, and then my brain starts bursting as devil horns come, a tail comes, and Pauli's rushes to stab me, and after I fall over, the horns retract back into me. I look normal, and I go, Pauli, I was gonna give you the password to my bank account, and then I die, and Pauli would go, why? How would I have assumed that thing from your devil transformation?
You would not even tell me, here's something cool at the beginning.
I just get like, and then your reaction is to defend yourself, and then I go, oh, sorry, I was just getting up to get some water.
Like, what's the big deal? Like, yes, he killed your mother, but...
he is justified. Maybe that's the point of the show. Maybe that's the point. Like they're letting you decide who you're siding on. That it's all a nuance. Maybe that's the point. Maybe the point is to let you nuance. In which case, I am with the Jedi.
You can have a lot of. You can have a lot of things up to interpretation.
Because I'm sure someone out there will say, "I agree. Soul shouldn't have just murdered someone." Fair. I can accept that statement.
Can you not at least come to the agreement that someone made a mistake?
Right. And obviously a very bad mistake. Oh my God. Yes. Like I'm not saying, oh,
should the Jedi cover up everything and say this guy just went
right, but they're involving it. But they're involving it because of the politics. That's the whole problem, right? Because look, there's this evil senator man, clearly evil, I would say. Where again, from your perspective, there are people who are going to say, no, he's doing good. Fair enough. You think he's doing good, and there should be some regulation of the Jedi. I agree with you. As long as they're a systematic organization, and that's the problem. They shouldn't be.
Let's have the Jedi be honest.
Yeah, but the Jedi also shouldn't be working as part of the Republic. They really should just fuck off and be a little monk organization. They shouldn't be on course, and I do agree with that. That is the problem. The prequels doing the same thing. Yeah, let the Jedi, which is again, what happened after the original trilogy of Luke and stuff in the old AU. That whole idea of like we're removed now. We are this ambiguous monk adventurers that will come, we will do good and stuff. And yes, the AU was fucking silly. Oh my God, there's so much dumb shit in there too.
There is.
And like it's like even something like Force Unleashed. I'm just saying all this to there's so much here. Like the inconsistency in Star Wars has always been a thing, and I'm just saying we have to have some level of acceptance.
I get that. It's not about the fact that they changed Ki-Adi-Mundi's age.
Ki-Adi-Mundi. Who gives a shit?
It's more about it being so close to that quote from Phantom Menace.
I know. I get that.
It's about that. It's not about they changed the Wikipedia page. If you're gonna have him be this close to this investigation and realize this was a cover-up.
At the end of the day, this one Jedi is doing this cover-up. At the end of the day, this one Jedi, again, another flawed individual is doing this cover-up.
Yeah.
Like, again, is that so bad? It is on paper.
Heroes in this
they're dead. Ironically, what's left for me to care about going forward is Quimir. No joke.
Yeah.
Like,
the one salvation.
The one salvation is Quimir, and which I know it sounds stupid, but you're like, he's the Acolyte. Like, you're whatever, you're the hot piece that he wants to fuck/train. Very cool, I'm into that.
The seduction of the dark side.
Good, we've never seen that before.
This was confirmed by the headline herself saying, I like this idea, or she said that when he was a kid, like, seduced by the dark side. What, that's a weird quote.
And fair enough, when you're a kid and you learn what the word means, I think about that too, like seduced, because fair, we've never seen that aspect of Star Wars. Anakin didn't join Palpatine because he thought he'd be a good fuck. Like, it's like fair. I say out of all the seductions, he couldn't do that one to him. Anakin, you're
but very strong today.
Like he told him that, but in a different way. That's my point. Like, so seeing that, I think that's really cool. That's really interesting. Fucking Darth
conceptually,
Kalin, for God's sakes.
Yeah, conceptually, this is fine.
Big titty goth Twi'lek. Guess you're one.
That's what I mean. This concept is fine.
Very good.
When I use this as a selfishness for
yeah.
Like
so I wouldn't say we've really seen it. It's just being told to me it's happening. Like, I don't understand why Quaisha? Oh my God. No, I actually do know her name. Osha. Fuck me. What is wrong?
Forget about that.
I'm very tired, if that makes you feel better. I'm a little sick today, so... but
if the character isn't good, you're not going to remember the name.
That's true. That's right. I do remember May more, but not because I think she's better necessarily. To be honest.
Because she had a very sassy walk. That's
Anyway, I guess a person split in two for some reason. That's fine. Good story. Do something with it. You didn't answer anything.
Let's talk for a second about Darth Pledges.
Cool. Episode 8 has a Darth Plagueis cameo moment.
Yep.
That makes sense. Like, the best I can say is makes sense.
Makes sense.
I makes sense that Quimir is an apprentice trying to look for his own to depose his master. That's the whole Sith thing. Does it make sense that Plagueis would be interested in these twins created by the Force? Yeah, of course it does, because he manipulated the Force with Sidious to make Anakin. Yeah, all of this is fine. All of this still adds up. Like, all of this is fine. Like that
again, you have the more interesting story hidden behind everything else.
Yeah, that's
interesting story right there.
Because again, and to reiterate ourselves, is not because conceptually that's a better story. It doesn't matter how much of a better story was. This could have been written to be just as interesting. Sadly, it's just not there, and that's why we say this. Because you could have this story be just as good and be like, oh, awesome story, while still being intrigued about, what's that Plagueis shit going on in the background? Because that's something we've always kind of wanted to know.
Yeah.
Or there are books and stuff, I know. But, I would really hope that he be expanded upon more in a second season, which is why I say you have all the right pieces.
Learn from this, please.
Yes.
Learn from how you structure if you're going to do an episodic series.
Yes.
It's not do a movie or do a miniseries.
Yes. Yes.
Put it together.
This would have been fine as a movie.
Yeah.
This would have been fine as a movie. Because exactly, you wouldn't have been doing the whole teasing the backstory stuff. You would have just showed it off the bat. Or shown it later, but at least it wouldn't have been this weird level of teasing. It would have been more like fluid.
Yeah, being on board with what's going on. You see what happened. And
it's funny, this show is a show that presents a mystery element and some questions, and it does a very interesting thing where, like, it gives the audience an answer to some questions of that mystery element sooner than another show would, and you go, yeah, thank God, a breath of fresh air. I have to wait 16 episodes to find out they're twins.
Right.
But in a weird way, then you did give all the answers away for the basic murder mystery, but then you answered none of the questions of the, let's call it, spiritual or Force mystery and all that stuff. And because of that, it falls kind of a little flat on his face. Because you just solved the physical mystery super early, which I don't mind it again conceptually. You could have done that. That would be like how daring.
Right.
But then then you introduce another element, and now you don't explain anything further after introducing it.
Those are virgins on this planet.
What does that mean?
Those are virgins on this planet.
I'm stupid, and I want a proper explanation. I need it to be reiterated.
Osha, the twins. There's some virgins on this planet. That's all you get.
You need it to be
repeat. I will tell you what happened.
Just dive in.
I will tell you what happened.
Explain to me as if I'm stupid, please.
I will tell you what happened.
I know.
Each time, cut away.
I know. And it's like, okay, you're two people. What is that? And again, it's like, okay, they also don't know what that means, I guess. That's fine. The mom's dead. Who's here can explain it. Okay.
Yeah.
But no, don't introduce the system and then have the people who could explain why and how it is gone, and now it just is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the Force is magic, yes, but there was still a degree, oh my god, there was a degree of reasoning behind some things. And
your M count is off the charts.
Yeah, and yes, that is stupid. I hated it even then. I still do to this day. Yes, you remove some of the magic from the magic, and you... It's true.
But now they don't say Mediocre count, now
I
they
know.
say the M count.
I see you, Filoni. But I get it. Yes, it's part of it. I've accepted it. Doesn't mean I have to like it. See, I have balance.
Look, this show...
I am Jedi.
We have not a problem with
like
diversity.
it overall.
We have not a problem with the people who
I hate people that are different than me. No,
that's not the
you
problem.
damn Mexican.
And there are evil people out there who say these things online and it's vocal.
Too much.
But that's not what the real Star Wars fans are saying to Disney when it comes to all of this. It's about the storytelling. It's about what makes us feel inspired. There's a little movie called Return of the Jedi for a reason. Last Jedi is something else. We're not going to talk about that. But
thank you.
If we're going backwards in time, then we need to show why Return of the Jedi was significant. And this show didn't do it.
No.
Didn't bring the narrative to us about why.
I guess you could, if you ignore the sequels, sadly, yet you see Return as a Jedi as the last thing in the Star Wars live-action canon we have, I guess it would serve as the good that Jedi are back proper. But again, that's the problem. What were the Jedi proper like? The prequel introduced what the idea of like Jedi, good Jedi in a war looks like, and then you through Clone Wars and stuff.
Yeah,
but you never got to see that peak Jedi era, like again or proper, like the old days. Like the Clone Wars was still like it just happened. Like that's not one of those weird Star Wars things. Like the war. It's like, dude, that was like a year ago. Like, Anyway, you would have been interested to see the Knights of Old, right? That whole point. And this doesn't do the job of seeing the Knights of Old. Hey, Yoda cameo. Maybe Yoda can talk some sense into what the hell is going on.
Expelled you are.
If you're Master Van Estra.
Jedi, you are not.
I haven't read the books, to be honest, right now. And
What was he sleeping in a room this whole time?
Like, yeah, he's an EP boy. He's very tired. He's 800 years old. Yeah, right.
Was he doing what the old man, young face, balding man with scar was doing?
He was having his 800 life crisis, so he was busy.
Kanaka, no. Or Kanaka.
Yeah, he fucking died.
Sorry, I just scarred you, little boy. We're gonna ignore this. Keep going. I'm gonna go away and exile him.
Yeah.
And just be cooking, oatmeal in the forest.
I like that.
And dying off screen. Yeah.
Dying off screen Sith. Yeah. I hate it when that happens. Look, man. This episode is the Acolyte and Star Wars as a whole. You clicked on it. It's long.
Yes.
You saw the title.
Series finale.
Yeah. All I'm trying to say is that I didn't hate the show. I really didn't, and I still don't. I just feel like it hasn't earned its place yet because to justify itself yet. And I just think that you genuinely can for the next season. But man, it is getting to that point where it's just exhausting to look at Star Wars and feel constantly just tired of its mediocrity. Like, you introduce things, but you don't follow through. And again, I've been going through a Star Wars phase, introducing my partner to Star Wars right now. And I've gone through it all again now. And I like Mandalorian. I like Season 1. I like Season 2. I'm a weirdo that likes Season 3. I liked Book of Boba Fett. It was fine. Yeah. It was fine. Like, yes, the fucking random biker kids are the one thing that really is out there. That really is it. You wanted to take Boba Fett in this different story and thing, and people have to let go of, like, the epic Boba Fett man that used to be. Look, if we're lucky,
a little bit of that in Mandalorian.
Yeah, exactly. And if you want that storyline, it's okay. They can write it and make it about him. I know that, like, it'll go different. There's so much behind episode 6 and behind that you can do. There's plenty of time, He had a little quick cameo in the new Star Wars Jedi game, really hinting at him coming back in the third one as a main villain or a recurring villain. Great moment. It was fun. They had a little moment there. You did a good, the bad, and the ugly moment. Fun, appropriate, very cool. He did his little thing. It's like, walk away, Jedi, and you're like, you got it. It was great. Very nice.
I love it.
Yeah, you got it. You got Timur Morrison to do the voice, of course. So, very good time. All I'm saying is, you want that, it exists. You want the badass bounty hunter doing missions, but all that stuff. That's the Mandalorian. It's the truth. Right. In a different world, they would have done Boba Fett off the bat, but maybe they weren't allowed to touch legacy characters yet, and all that stuff. Hell, there was supposed to be a Boba Fett movie. Now it was a show. There's a lot of things always going behind the scenes. So you do The Mandalorian. You do a brand new character instead of Boba Fett. You get it. It's just the truth. It's okay. It's fine. You can't just do the same show twice. I'm sorry, you can't. You can't. So you do something different. You try to take a storyline there with him. There's still some stuff with the whole Camino stuff. It goes a bit over my head. Okay, anyway.
There's
all the other shows.
Right.
I liked Solo. Yeah. I am actually willing for a Solo trilogy. I didn't like it at the time. It grew on me. Because
you saw what
it's not terrible. It's fine. It really isn't that bad. And the biggest problem with it was they did all the Han Solo references, but also in a weird way, they did them all now. So for a sequel, and maybe a trilogy, they wouldn't be relying on the showing him how he got his dice, how he got his gun, how he made Chewbacca, how he got the Falcon, how he did the Castle Run, how he first had sex, how he punched Lando in the face, how he first played against Lando, how he won the Millennium Falcon off Lando in Sabak, the first time he ever kissed a girl, the second time he ever kissed a girl, the first time Han Solo ever touched his blaster, the way Han Solo got his name, apparently he has no one, therefore he's Solo. So you did it all. Han Solo's time in the war while working for the Empire before he became a smuggler. That's his canon. Oh, the way he went to Imperial Academy. That's correct. You did it all. So
how about the time he had a facial change, which plastic surgery to look like Harrison Ford?
We all will one day. No. But so there you go. You did it all in the first one. So now they're free to actually have fun for the sequel and third one. Yeah. And so that's why I'd be willing. Very excitedly, you saw Han shoot first. You did it all. Yeah. Fantastic. That's fine. Let's fucking go.
Right, and we had to rant about Solo now.
So Rogue One, it was fine. You're making a show about it now. Technically, Andor, it's pretty fucking epic. I'm a little concerned about season 2.
I'm very excited to see how that ends.
Very good. Obi-Wan.
One thing.
Let me tell you about Obi-Wan, Pauli. Obi-Wan is a show that has the emotional notes that are satisfying for what they represent. But like the Acolyte and a few of these shows, we get to them in an unsatisfactory manner. And therefore, even though the emotion is strong, it feels unearned. And that's the problem. Yeah. The idea of Vader and Obi-Wan having another scuffle at some point and having that emotional duel again, fine on paper. I can accept that. I can even like that. The way you go about it, by tossing in Leia and Luke,
there you go,
and all these things as a very bizarre way of connection, that's the one that loses me. Why did we need Leia as the linchpin? Well, I'll tell you why. Because the writers and the team decided we need that. Okay, you could have had the linchpin be Obi-Wan, thinking he has to redeem himself and kill his apprentice. You're already bringing him in that dark place. Obi-Wan already considers Anakin dead, but as a fulfillment to his mission. He failed at one time, so he'll try one more time. You can write a story where it's fulfilling. The Inquisitor is after him. That's enough. Like, you had enough for what you wanted there. You did not have to toss Paul and Leia in there. Or that's the thing. That's the part that I don't get.
Couldn't the linchpin have been Jar Jar?
It sounds like a joke, but genuinely. It could have been.
Depressed Jar Jar Binks
being could have been.
A clown in Naboo because of everything that happened. They made him be a court jester, according to the canon, after everything. So I would be on board with that. Ahmed Best, bring him in. You're never going to get that. You're never going to get Cody.
All I'm saying
is...
It's
done. It's
all we're trying to say is that, like... You have the pieces. You're just putting them together in such a bizarre way, and they're almost right. And there are projects that are like pretty well put together. Again, Rogue One has become loved over time. Andor has been great. I'm a personal lover of The Mandalorian, and most people like it too. But now the third season, they just consider it a shit show overall. So there's Star Wars fans for you as well. So I'm just saying. But like overall, it really hasn't been that goddamn miserable. I don't hate the show. And outside of this, because it is a multimedia facet. You have video games that I thought have been very nice, very fun. I like the Jedi series. I am looking forward to Outlaws, a little worried, but still optimistic. I am only worried because it's like, yeah, you made her a human. Why did you make her a Twi'lek or a Zabrak? Or like, we're in fantasy spaceland.
Hear that?
We're talking about inclusivity and stuff and all that stuff. And that sounds like I'm about to go in a very bad direction.
No,
but I mean in the sense of like,
keep going.
I mean that in the sense of like, I want to see aliens in Star Wars. It's space. I like aliens. There's such cool aliens out there. So I was kind of like, man, why didn't we play an alien? I played humans and I see humans all the time. Yeah. I want to see aliens.
Look, David, it's the big problem with Andor, the fact that he's a Latino.
No.
See? And the guy was a Swedish man,
that's completely fine. He's very good. I want to see some aliens in Star Wars too. And we get them in animation because it's easy in animation or when they're just blue. But like, toss some stuff on them. You're a video game. You don't have to deal with a person in a chair of makeup for 12 hours. It's your character asset. Just make him an alien. I don't know. It'll be cool to be an alien.
Bottom line is
Star Wars. You're not dead, but you're
hibernating.
You're hibernating hard. But the problem with it is that you might make everyone else fall asleep and forget you're there. Mm-hmm. Don't fall into legend like the Jedi.
You were that tentpole franchise.
Yeah, you were.
You were the one.
No.
Don't forget that, because my morbid curiosity only goes so far. There's a limit to that. And could I see season 2?
Yes.
I could see season 2 of Acolyte for the fact of Pledis and Kimmer. If these characters are brought forward.
I am also interested. What could you do with our new Acolyte? Yeah, what could you do with her now? I am curious. Explain why. What the fuck was that deal? Like, does he want May, and therefore they're like, no, take me instead because you clearly want me.
Either one will do fine.
Right. He's like, I'm good with either.
I'm good with both.
But then to save her sister, she joins the Sith Man. But the sister wanted to be with the Sith Man, but not anymore.
She wanted to be a Jedi first.
Right, no, but the other one wanted to join the Sith Man for revenge, but now she doesn't want that anymore.
She doesn't want to kill him anymore.
Right, but she doesn't want to join the Sith Man either to just be a Sith either. So, but her sister kind of does, but also is maybe doing it to defend her, because then the Sith Man will take that. I didn't get that. There's a deal vibe there, like, oh, erase your memory even. I'm like, why are you two accepting this? The whole show was you two coming to. Oh my god. This is gonna be. Sorry for the lighting. This whole episode. It was blinking the whole time, so this will be exciting.
Oh.
Anyway. Whoops. What was that deal? I didn't really get it. You ended on a setup, but again, I didn't get it. Why? Why did the deal made? Why did? Okay, she wants to go be a little naughty and learn maybe some Sith from him. That's fine, but then it made you sound like she didn't really want this. She wanted her to do it to let her sister be, but then the sister wanted to be Sith or something. So, but now she doesn't want to be anymore. So Osha has to sacrifice herself to join the Sith Man.
This is why I had a problem.
That you just ended on a moment. I'm like, what are these two sisters about? And like, if you're telling me, well, they're messy because they're a person split in two, that's fine. But I don't get that.
It wasn't a very nice moment when she was strangling Soul.
Yeah, it's like, okay, you embraced the dark side, you bled a crystal. I saw it. Cool,
sure,
fine.
Good detail, yeah. Sure,
we bled the crystal, we know.
Like the whole killing scene, like what are you supposed to feel in that scene?
It's like, okay,
because
you're embracing your dark side.
The show wants you to think that Soul is a bad man now.
Yes.
Because that's what the writers
did May not kill Soul because she wanted Osha to do it? Okay. But then again, that's very dark side. Why didn't May want to come with Quimir anymore? To be a Sith. Therefore accepting her sister going with him and getting her mind wiped. I don't get it. I'm trying to, and I don't get it. And if someone has an explanation, I am more than happy. Please write it to me. I want it. I'm more than happy to accept that I'm being short-sighted and I'm just not seeing the bigger picture. I want to be told. Again, I like where the pieces are. I don't hate Venestra being in a position of, okay, let's find out why she betrayed Quimir. Clearly, he is mastered that lightsaber whip in the back.
I'm fine with her having a light whip, for example.
Yeah, awesome.
Right.
Bring that back.
Good
fucking
thing.
Awesome.
But these are the little glaciers on the cake. This is
exactly. But the cake is cardboard. There's nothing beneath it. It's foam.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh, tasty, but then where's the ice cream? Where's the...
These are the little things that people make fun of. Go, oh, look, lightsaber, they got detail, you know, Star Wars fans are easy to please, but like, sure, those are nice
I
things,
can have fun, but then
the
give me the story.
The middle is important.
Yeah.
You know, like, a lightsaber is fundamental to what the iconography and imagery and style and what Star Wars is. It's not, fan service. It's not, it's just a part of what this is, part of what this world is.
And also porn.
Yeah, I don't really... I know Redder Media said that, but I don't really agree to it. Only if you put a lightsaber in a scene where you go... for example, Kira.
We have much work to do.
Okay, he put it on because he wanted to be threatening, but still, he didn't need to really put the lightsaber on in the hologram.
Yeah.
That's a moment I can agree. Yeah. A little too much, a little overkill in that sense. But
yeah, I agree.
What happened to that cliffhanger?
Well, read about it in a book, I guess.
I'm gonna give this power of 0. No, no, I'm not going to. Epic fail. Okay, Joe, what did they do? Okay, Alex, tell me about it. No, this has nothing to do. Okay, no. Or Jeremy with the bottle.
Yes.
Like he ended a bottle up.
You have a bottle?
Yeah, like a Scotch bottle.
No, can we have one? I mean,
I was thinking about it, but then would it be too similar to Jeremy's?
fair enough.
Stockman hasn't talked about it. I don't know.
Give it a rating opinion, I guess. For some reason, that's the thing. I hate these, but I'm giving you a 6 or 7.
I'm actually going lower. Because I'm salvaging the lightsaber fights.
That's what I'm doing too.
Soul, when I liked what he was doing.
I like Soul. Honestly, the one character here that I don't get the hate for is Soul. Quimir, honestly, he is interesting. Yeah. He is interesting.
Those things and the little moments.
A lot of moments.
Like the details that I enjoyed.
The setup for where we could go.
It's a 3 out of 10. That end credit music in episode 7 wasn't for me either.
No, I haven't met a single person that has or discussion. No, and it's
wasn't my taste for Star Wars.
The nicest thing I heard said about it was basically like, look, if that was in universe music, like in a club or something, like even then, but that's a bit close that you could accept it as again artistic interpretation of someone out there. But
they did that on Andor. They did that on Andor, having like the club music. But the club music itself was pretty nice. You know,
it's just
the difference right there.
It's
too contemporary.
Yeah, it's just the truth. It's too contemporary. It's the truth. It's just too. Oh, that's 2025 vibes. You know.
Yeah.
Like I say that because I know we're 2024, but you get it. Like that's mid 2000, mid 2020s.
This isn't the Joel Schumacher.
That's mid 2020s music. You know. No, it's true. That's mid 20s 2020 movie music. You're like, yeah, that's not Star Wars. That's just it's contemporary.
It just has a bad taste in the mouth for me. It's for the TikTok kids and all that.
It's bizarre. It's not Star Wars. It just,
I wanna have a power of 2.
It just starts. It just is orchestral and synth and that kind of mix of things.
There's a lot of themes that you could recognize in this.
Sadly not.
A little bit of Kylo Ren music for
some reason.
For reasons.
He has a mask and he's a Sith. He sure is. Okay.
They were doing similar kinds of scenes, you know.
All right, sure. I mean, again, if you don't show me more season 2, that's just kind of pointless.
David, give me a rating.
Right. I'm scared because I know your rating. Not that. Well, we'll see how you edit this, but honestly, like for me, it's a 6 or 5. It's a 5 or 6. 5 or 6. 5 is, to me, the mediocrity of it. Below 5 is what I consider bad. Again,
you enjoyed more episodes than I did. It's true.
I generally overall thought I had fun, but like I won't pretend that it isn't mediocre. Which is a problem. And I'm not trying to say that mediocrity can be fine, but that's the whole point. Yeah. It's fine. Hence mediocrity. Anyway, 6 probably is the nicest I can go for it. So there you go.
Yeah. Hope you guys have fun with the Acolytes.